All right. Okay. So today I'm going to present about evidence-based policy and protocol, which is this study was conducted in 2018, but using the data from 2011 until 2022. Sorry. Okay. Before that, I just want to introduce. I just want to introduce about the company itself first. I'm glad yesterday during the keynote speaker, I think you all have been watching the David Attenborough video about sustainable palm oil. I don't know if you are aware or not, but surprisingly or not, but among all the palm oil that been sold in the market, only 20% was sold as a sustainable palm oil. And I remember David Attenborough was calling everyone to play your roles to demand more sustainable palm oil because it's not cheap being sustainable palm oil. Okay, next. Okay, this is just wildlife interaction within plantation or oil palm in general. But among all wildlife, elephant has posed a significant damage in terms of economic. Okay, what happened, how the conflict started in oil palm is basically, if you see, it's supposed to move one by one, but now because it's PDF, oil palm only, not live, but only effective or their optimum yield is only 25 years. So every 25 years, they have to replant. So if you see in this graph as well, optimum yield is basically when they are 12 to 14 years old. So when they're 25, the yield is going down. So they have to replant. When they replant, this is the time that when they chipping, there's no burning or anything because that's not sustainable. So when they chipping this palm, these trees, this is when the festive happen. So all the elephants everywhere just come. We have at one time about like 189 at one site. So one they come and they dry about 3 to 4 months. So it become like this. And then you started to plant the palm. And then elephant gonna come again and eat all this small palm. And then at this point, we have up to 97% of the field. Let's say if you planted 100 hectares, 97% of that 100 hectare field just gone. Okay, I'm going to talk about the research that we carry out 2018. It's supposed to be presented in 2020, but just share. This is an innovative study. Why I say innovative? Because instead of having external researcher to carry out data for you, but MIM, as a collaborator, Management and Ecology of Malaysian Elephant, internalize the research to the company. This is important because it's to ensure the implementation after the research. So it's not just like one-off. Again, this is the collaboration study among University of Nottingham, Malaysia, MIM, and also Sime Darby Plantation, funded by Yayasan Sime Darby. Oh, sorry. The objective of the study is basically, one, to see the literature review of HEC in 3 crops, particular, and also to see the pattern of conflict within the 3 crops plantation, especially. Because there's lots of study in the protected area, but not much outside the protected area, in particular 3 crops and the rest. But at the end, when we understand the context of HEC in the palm oil, we would like to support, the aim is to promote and support the communities in plantation to coexist with the wild elephants around. Okay, this is the finding. So among all, we got like 200,000 trees been damaged in the 8 years. And if you see, they have like 8 estates that involve estates as a plantation. And there's one favorite estate where 50% of the damage basically occur here. And if you see by tree age of palm, 97% from the 200,000 trees, basically they like trees, that young trees, like below 5 years. And this is like short tree as well, so they're easy for them to just depredate. And 55% is when they are 1 year old. So this is critical because before, Sime Darby Plantations used to listen to just whatever recommendation without understanding their data. When we see this, however, we have outliers as well. We have outliers in one of our estate that is not below 5 years old that been depreded, but above 9 years old, which is already tall. And 49% is 9 years old, 72% is above 9 years old. Then we speculate because that area actually have a salt lick or mud pool, which is in general, elephant like to find this place and they just like to play on this area. This is what happened before, every 2 years in plantation. But the thing is, if they know, sometimes when they play with this, it's quite hard because they cannot go out. That's why sometimes in the forest, they can just like dry out there. But here, every time they came and they cannot come out, plantation has like come and push. So for them, it's quite not necessary thing to happen, but they have to. But this is why the outlier happened, because when you try to take them off or put fences, they retaliate because they want to go to this place in the plantation. So this is why. And if you see other area, they are all compliant. If you put fencing, before and after, this is just a quick one. Before and after is all mostly effective, not to the estate, this one. So now we understand. So yeah. And I was saying before, it's just the data up to 2018, but now I also include the data after 2018, after the research, which you can see now from 8 estates, it has more than 8 estates now, it has 17, where you can see, I don't know what you're doing on your COVID time in 2020, but you can see elephant roaming around to new estate. In 2020, they have 4 new estates that have been damaged like this. This is a name of estate, the plantation. Tiger Estate is like 101 in 2020, while we all been in the house, locked up in our house. So this is, and if you see, before it was 200,000. So in this 2019 to 2022, it has increased to 13%, which is 13% only in one of our states in Johor. Southwest of West Malaysia. Okay, lesson learned now that we know that elephant only prefer certain age of palm oil. So we don't have to secure, this is important because we now know that all the mature area of oil palm, you don't have to secure them because they don't like anyway, they just like pass by. But this is the area that we need to protect. And I don't know if you're aware or not, but elephants sometimes have their home range, but with replanting, they have a clear-cut pattern where they just come whenever they're replanting, whether or not that is their route or home range before. And then well-planned elephant fence is working, but there is a cases in Sabah, it has made, because everyone start keeping or putting the fencing, which make elephant loss in the plantation, which is not good as well. So it has to be well-planned and also continuous maintenance. Okay, all in all, I think there's no single bullet. From this research, there is no single silver bullet for the mitigation, but it's always with the time and activities. So here we would like to support the 5 intervention strategic phase for appropriate timing, which is before the development. If you know the area already has elephant, you either choose another crop that's not palatable to elephant, or just delay it. Okay, yeah. And then during the crop, because you know now 5 years, you have to protect it. You're not protect it and keep just like complaining. Financial tools, we have insurance, lucky for Sime Darby, but not for others. And at all time, we have to build tolerance so that every workers or employees tolerate or allow the elephant. And removal of lions should be the last resort in managing wildlife in plantation. Okay, moving forward, I fast forward this. We no longer listen to whatever recommendation from whoever, but we use our data to work in the landscape. Okay, just a photo. This is one of the landscape that we work with WWF, Dr. Cheryl in, Dr. Farina in Sandakan Bay, Sabah, and also Dr. Cheryl in Kunak, WWF, and also with me in landscape of Johor. So every landscape we work with different collaborative because the conflict level is different. And internally we continue to empower our workforce, giving training or provide training and awareness, and also looking for advanced technology like using a drone, and then updating our, advancing our kerosene, and then putting a camera trap on our electric fence and beehives along the camera trap, along the electric fence as well. conclusion. I'm glad that Brian was talking about this today because I didn't see anyone presented it today. But in my thesis in 2022, I've stated this already that in Sime Darby Plantation, our level of conflict is just dispute. So it's manageable. And it's just we have to continue with the measure. And I think on other plantation or farmers, they also need to understand their HEC locally without just listen to everybody, recommend whatever. And I know people can just say, oh, you're a big company and the rest is a small company, but one company at a time, it takes landscape and beyond to save the species. Thank you.
Thank you, Aida. Very comprehensive data there. Quick question.
Thank you for wonderful presentation. My question is on the method of hanging electric fence around the farms. I know the method is expensive. Can community afford, or is it a donor funded project or government? And how sustainable is the method because it needs maintenance? Yeah.
Okay, so when we were in landscape, so basically, obviously, smallholder, I give example of our landscape in Kuna. So, you know, in every landscape, we have WhatsApp group. And every plantation, actually, they used to like chase the elephant so the elephant can just walk through. So, ideally, the one that fencing, if you, I didn't have map here, but if you see, instead of we do perimeter fencing of every plantation, we can just do a landscape fencing, which is smallholder or small farmers doesn't have to build theirs, but the fencing is just on the landscape. I give an example, I don't know how because I don't have map. If this is a forested area and there's a small plantation and big plantation can offer to do the fencing to protect or guard the smallholders so that they don't have. Actually, working in the landscape help as well because smallholder doesn't retaliate. There is in Kuna WhatsApp group where they said, please don't chase the elephant to us, so just in between big plantation because they have a patrolling team. Smallholder doesn't have that. So they actually don't have to have at the first place if we can have integrated electric fence. Does it answer your question?
We must move on.